Well, now they want to go into the military and remove all white supremacist Trump supporters. Now, white supremacists is in quotation marks, and then Trump supporters is right behind it. They didn't have the balls to say, we want to remove all Trump supporters from the military. They had to throw on the elephant in the room. They had to throw on the ugly white supremacist Trump supporters. Quotation marks, white supremacists, and then behind that, Trump supporters at the end. So the way I'm reading it is, you can be a white supremacist in the military as long as you're not a Trump supporter. You can be a white supremacist as long as you're a Democrat supporter. It would seem, based on their verbiage, the way it's written, they didn't have the balls to simply say, we want to remove all Trump supporters. They had to throw that white supremacy shit on the front of it. Look, white supremacy has been in the military since before the Civil War. It's been there. It's always been there. It's still there. That's a fact. There are people in the military who are white supremacists or who have white supremacist leanings. So they have to use that as the beginning of their purge. Because again, they didn't have the balls to just simply say, we want all the Trump supporters out of the military. Why? Because they plan on using the military. That's why. They want a military that won't say no to the socialist agenda. They want a military who has no qualms about coming after the American people. Now, if you're a black, brown, Asian member of the military and you supported Trump, hell, I don't know. I guess you're a white supremacist Trump supporter? Because they don't have the balls to simply say they want you out because you're a Trump supporter, that you're a conservative Republican leaning person. They don't have the balls for that. They have to throw that ugliness of white supremacy on the front of it in an attempt to give themselves some credibility, which is ridiculous. White supremacy, period. If they want to go after white supremacists, period, go for it. But when you try to break it down into subgroups, white supremacist Trump supporters, your agenda is obvious. It's obvious what you're doing. Now, veterans who supported Trump, you're not only considered white supremacist Trump supporters, you're considered domestic terrorists, which gives them a whole new avenue of approach when it comes to dealing with you. It opens a lot of doors for them. It gives them a lot of options when it comes to arresting you, incarcerating you for as long as they want to, taking your weapons, taking your property, taking your money. After all, you're a terrorist. So that broadens their scope of authority when it comes to dealing with veterans. Guys, it's coming. It's coming. They want a military purged of conservative Republicans or anyone with leanings in that direction. They want them out because they don't want anyone in the military who will say no when they pull the trigger on the American people. You see, when it happens, they'll come after us and they'll be under the full protection of the federal government. The socialist government will support them. They'll supply them. They'll defend them. They'll give them justification under their rules as far as handling people they deem to be white supremacist Trump supporters and domestic terrorists. It opens up a huge window of opportunity for the way they come after us. That verbiage is being purposely used. It's being put out there for a reason. It's being put out there as a justification for what they are going to do. It's obvious they're going to do it. They're coming after the American people who aren't part of their agenda. They're coming after military veterans because they're scared to death of military veterans. Scared to death of them. Number one, we know, and we know how. And that scares the shit out of them. So they want nothing but loyalists, in the military. They want people who will do their bidding without questioning any order. And they're giving them every reason to do so, simply by the verbiage they're using. White supremacists, Trump supporters, and domestic terrorists. Pay attention. It's going to happen. This is just the beginning of getting their army together, their military together, their loyalists in positions to use the military against the American people. And if you don't see it, then you've got your head in the sand. And if you're of the attitude that you don't give a shit because it doesn't affect you right now, well, guess what? It will. It will affect you. It's coming, guys. This administration will use the military against the American people and American veterans. The wheels are in motion. And I'm just basing that opinion off their verbiage, the way they're doing things, what they're saying, and how they're saying it. The labels that they're putting on people makes it obvious what their plans are. And the labels that they're continually using in their echo chamber is simply fueling their ability to do so. But as always, that's just my opinion. You can take it with a grain of salt. This is Alan Sarge. I'm out.